And we are thrilled to welcome back to the program musician Alan Doyle, who's also an author, a best-selling author, to tell us some tales from the road adventures that you'll find in his brand new book called A Newfoundlander in Canada, which is the follow-up to your first best-selling book, Where I Belong. Good morning to you.
So I decided I'm going to sit up straight. It's time to sit up straight now.
Yes.
It's time enough to be slouching around here today now.
No, we're going to
Thanks so much for having me. Yes, this book is really about my first trip across the country and about how what Canada looked like to me as like in my early 20s. A fellow from the very edge of Canada, you know, and a fellow who had never really been anywhere except fishing towns in Newfoundland, and so what the country would have looked like to me. Of course, then when I did get to discover it, I discovered it out the window of a band van, which is kind of a unique lens to see anything. But yeah, so it's
into the mainland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've divided it into provinces, and then there's a special chapter dedicated to Purple Dinosaur that I want to get to in just a second. But first things first, because you've said in the beginning of the book, you said, I can guarantee that I'm the only one who remembers it all like this.
Yeah.
So did you do any fact-checking? Did you go back to the guys?
Yeah, more than I wanted, you know, in a way. Like on the first book, most of the... And memoirs are kind of like that, you know, you want them to be memories and stuff. And in the first book, it was all about my childhood and stuff that happened kind of, you know, 30 or 40 years ago in some cases. And it would be almost impossible to fact-check. But, of course, just about everything in this book happened in my adult life.
Right.
And just about everything in this book happened in public. You know, and so it's documented, and, you know, when the concert happened, for example, is known publicly somewhere. So it's a bit more of an onus to fact-check and to make sure you got it right. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, you know what, and it's, I guess, like, if in the organization and administration of it, that's the part I like the least, right?
Right.
Like, you know, I don't want to be doing all the clerical stuff and figure it out. I just want to whimsically tell the stories like a pub chat or something. But,
as you should.
Yeah, but we had to do it in this one because it was, you know, that's the responsible thing to do. Okay,
well, a natural-born storyteller, obviously, in music and on the page. There is a couple of stories about Alberta that we might tiptoe around. They're the racy ones, our province.
There's a couple of racy ones, like sort of like, and one of them is kind of innocent. Well, they're both kind of innocent as well. But I'll tell you about one of the first times I ever played in Alberta. We'd landed a gig at the Chateau Lake Louise.
Yes.
Right.
Beautiful.
And we had a friend who was working like sort of the head of the staff bar at Chateau Lake Louise, and we got a gig like on a Monday night or something to play for the staff, and I think for no money, but they were going to give us 4 rooms at the Chateau Lake Louise. We thought this is the greatest day. And anyway, we rolled in, we butted our way through a snowstorm to get there, and like we'd been on the road a long time, and we were kind of, you know, sick of looking at each other in a van.
Sure.
And we rolled into the Chateau Lake Louise, which was amazing enough. But all around, the entire amazing lobby of the Chateau Lake Louise was filled with tall, fit, northern Scandinavian women in tight exercise clothing, stretching and rolling and bending. There had been a ladies' downhill ski tournament, or meet, that had been delayed because of the snowstorm. So the entire world of ladies downhill skiing was timing. It was like incredible, and it was just like it was like a mirage or something for 4 guys who had been driving in a van. It was arrived already.
It sounds like a fairy tale.
I couldn't believe it. I remember the poor guy who was saying, "Well, your rooms are not quite ready. Well, we're going to rush to try to get you checked in." And we were like, "Take your time. You're all." You're good.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we don't have time for the Barney story, but can you give us a thin slice?
Thin slice of it very quickly. We had a great gig in central Newfoundland once early in our career on the Saturday night opening for the Rankin family at the massive salmon festival. And we didn't know that we were also contracted to get up early the next morning and be the opening act for the kids show, which was opening for Barney the Dinosaur. And I can tell you this, I can confirm for your viewers and listeners that there is no gig tougher than opening for Barney the morning after the night before.
There you have it, and we're only just scratching the surface. My cheeks hurt because I'm smiling so hard, and it is a lot of laugh out loud moments in A Newfoundlander in Canada, Alan Doyle's new book. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, and we will see you again soon as you are touring.
Yeah, coming over for the holiday train, and we're coming back very quick in March at the Jubilee.
Perfect. Okay, we'll see you again. Safe travels, my friend. Time for a break here.